is good, Kiss listeners? It's me, Paige B from Kiss 107.1. And man, I am so excited for this live stream interview with an amazing, incredible, phenomenal artist. He is a singer, songwriter, producer, arranger, award winning, as a matter of fact. He is super duper talented, wrote hits for himself, as well as some of your other favorite artists. We're going to be talking about his latest projects, how he's doing things as the head of his own record label and all of that. So let's go ahead and bring him in. We're talking about the one and only Mr. Kevin Ross. Hey,
What's
Kevin.
going on? Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Man, thank you for showing up. Definitely appreciate you joining us today. Just truly a fan of your music. Very excited to talk to you. So first and foremost, how are you holding up with this whole pandemic situation? Are you guys still in quarantine where you're at, or what's going on?
You know what? I mean, things are opening up a little bit. I'm still in quarantine until 2021 for sure.
I
I'm not
understand.
doing much of anything. If I can't drive there, I ain't going. So,
I understand.
I'm just taking my precautions. You know what I mean? But just taking it one day at a time. Everything's been good though. I'm grateful that I was able to put out a new project, Audacity Volume 2, and just really connect with, the fans and my base. So it's really been cool.
Absolutely. And we're going to talk about that phenomenal new project in
Thank
just
you.
a bit. I was banging it on the way to work today. So let's talk a little bit about your background. Grew up in the DMV area where it's definitely very rich in music. And I understand you come from a musical family as well. So talk about that.
Yeah, so my pop, he sings. That's where I get it from. He's a deacon. And so the rest of like my dad's side of the family, they sing or play instruments. And so, music was always around. Every time we had a family gathering, they always playing music and just really, reminiscing. But for me, it was just soaking up all of that information and soaking up all of that richness within the songs. And so as I grew up, I really just started to take like certain parts of that and add it to my music. And I just loved just the quality of the music back then. And so, I kind of kept with that tradition and, even on incorporating like new generation stuff, but just really trying to become that bridge. But yeah, like my father's side of the family and just my family in general has been a big support and the reason why, I'm able to stay sane as well.
We definitely understand that. And I can definitely tell from your music that you still maintain that rich, soulful R&B sound that we grew up listening to and
Yeah.
all of that. So that is greatly appreciated. And by the time that you released your first project in, I believe, 2014, you were already an industry veteran, writing stuff for, wow, Johnny Gill and for SWV, for Trey Songs, for Case, for Tony Braxton. I mean, I just want to get into your creative process, how you're able to capture the essence of the artist that you work with and doing so flawlessly.
Mm. Honestly, it depends. Like sometimes I'm writing songs and it's not for anybody. It's just songs. You know what I
Right.
mean? And it's really about the story. It's really about the quality of the record. And if someone hears it, like I didn't even know that I had a placement on Case until like it came out. Like I was literally in Philly working with Vidal from Dre and Vidal. And
Right.
so we were working on a couple of records and it was honestly for my artistry. And so none of it, like, they were cool, but it wasn't anything that I was gonna keep. But he felt like one was dope, and he was like, he played it for Case, and they recorded it. And so once it came out, I was like, what the hell? And I'm looking on my ASCAP sheet, and I'm like, Case Heaven's Door. That's the name of the album. And so
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was just a song, and the song connected with him, and he recorded it. Same thing with Tony Braxton, Sex and Cigarettes, which is a song that we wrote. And then she connected to it and decided to name her project Sex and Cigarettes 2. And then yeah, but like, for Trey and stuff like that, like that's more so like we're hand making. We're really like in the studio writing and stuff like that. So, it's that balance of the two, but song first, melody's king, and then, tell your story over that.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
now we got to talk about this new project, Audacity Volume 2. Now, this is your second new EP in this year, because you already released Audacity Volume 1 the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
with that hit track Thing Called Love that's been blowing up on our airwaves. And now
Yeah.
we have Audacity Volume 2 and the
Yes.
lead single, God is a Genius, which is definitely my jam.
Thank
And
you.
of course, and how do you feel about getting all this love for your music and doing so not only as an independent artist, but as the head of your own record label? How does that feel?
It feels really, really good. It's very humbling. Next month will be 1 year that I've been in business as an owner of Art Society Music Group. So to me, that means a lot because one, I didn't go broke. Two,
Right.
we started from zero. Prior to me owning my own company, I took I didn't even take 2 years off. It was the fact that I was held up in a situation as far as like a label situation. They didn't let me
Right.
go until 2 years later. So I didn't put out any music, that whole time. I mean, I did a couple of little mashups and stuff on social media, but other than that, like I didn't have any music out. So 2 years, like in this day and age, you starting from the bottom. You know
Right.
what I mean? And so I understood that. And so however many millions of streams later now, since this whole year started, I really look back and be like, wow, like this is really awesome as it pertains to just knowing like where it started, just the foundation of it and where we're going to. You know what I mean? Like so I take the time to pat myself on the back and to pat, the people that are on my team members on the back as well. But then to also to let them know that we still have a lot more work to do, and
Absolutely.
we still have a lot more ground to cover. So it feels great to answer your question. It's been awesome, truly,
Absolutely. Validation, I'm sure.
indeed.
And also, like, part of the reason why you are getting a lot of success is because you did put yourself out there through social media. And that's
Yeah,
how I came across you at first with their different mashups on social media. And I definitely understand from a promotional standpoint that social media is definitely a lot more important now more than ever for
yeah,
artists as we are dealing with the pandemic, and a lot of these concerts are not happening and you can't go the traditional promo route. So tell us about like some challenges or some things that you were trying to figure out as you are promoting this new record through social
mm.
media.
I think the biggest thing was just timing. I put out God is a Genius 2 days after. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, 2 days after maybe the incident with George Floyd.
Right.
So nobody was really in the mood to listen to God is a Genius, especially when people were questioning God's actions.
Right.
Um, it still made me even a stronger believer because of the fact that God allows for this world to spin, and through all of our, I guess, evil deeds that we do as human beings, he could be tired of us and simply just eradicate us, or just what I mean. What we know as existence will be over because he's never lost faith in us. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so that grace and that mercy continues to, what I mean, is renewed every day. So I'm grateful for that. But it was definitely a challenge because you're like, okay, well, how am I going to get this message heard to people who are maybe not receptive to that right now? You know
Right.
what I mean? And also as well, it has God in the title, and that also let me know where people were and how they receive songs that have God in it. They're more slow to play it, to say, I'm not in the mood for a gospel song. And it's like, well, I'm an R&B artist, so
Right.
just press play to see where I'm coming from. You know what I mean? But when you are a believer, and I'm a Christian man first before I'm an R&B singer. We are a believer that no matter what my message is, whether it's love, whether it's intimacy, whether it's whatever it is, I'm still held accountable. For what I say, what I write as well. And I just thought it was just a cool play on just so many different layers of how God is a genius in love, in just in the world within itself. And so it's funny now because 2 months after it has been released, now people are starting to come back around to it to say, I
Right.
like this song. It's a vibe. It feels great. You know what I mean? And it's
Absolutely.
like it takes a lot more time now, than ever before. But you have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to stay on your path too. Just because it's not working right now doesn't mean that it's not ever going to work, or that it's ever going to show that progress, so you really got to stand firm on what you believe in as an artist, what the product is, and give it time,
Absolutely.
truly give it, just like any product. Like if you're selling something that's physical, if I'm selling a soda and I'm putting it out into the market, we got 4 quarters. At least allow for me to have the decency to see how it works within the public for the first quarter. Okay, what is it about the climate where it's like, why isn't it working? But you stay diligent because you put in the time with this product. So you know that there has to be some level of analytics that you have to retrieve, right?
Right.
So even if it truly doesn't work, there's still lessons that need to be learned as well. And so for me, that's the business side of me more so than the creative, because the creative would be like, they ain't messing with it. All right, cool. We gonna make another song and
Right.
we gonna keep going until everybody love it. But on the business end, it's like, no, you have a product, you worked hard on it, you believe in it, you continue to push that. You push it in different avenues. We connected with this, with the foundation called Mobile Movie Makers, which promotes youth movie making projects and stuff like that. And we attach God as a genius to that. We attach God as a genius to other things as well. And so, we wanted to make sure that it was clear that we're standing firm and that we weren't backing down. So it feels good to see it come around. And then Audacity Volume 2 as a whole, I think it puts it into perspective more so than anything. So you're not just listening to one song, but you can actually listen down and say, oh, I get it now. This feels great. This has a flow. This, you know what I mean? This
Right.
is R&B. But yeah, some people were very reluctant because it was like, that was the last thing the last thing they heard was months ago, from Audacity Volume 1. So they probably thinking I turned into a gospel artist, but that wasn't the case.
But hey, everything works out in God's perfect timing. So
Exactly.
now you're receiving all of this. Now I want to know about your thoughts about the state of R&B today, because as opposed to, like, I want to say 2 years ago, 5 years ago,
Nah, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
10 years ago. Exactly. R&B is in like such a very interesting space now, where
Mhm.
you have all of these sounds meshing in,
Mhm.
from the pure soulful
Yeah.
music to those who infuse hip hop vibes and other elements into it. And now also we're seeing, like, with R&B music, a lot of the up and coming R&B artists going through the independent route,
Yeah.
as opposed to either major label or nothing.
Yeah.
So, and even like a lot of the, not only the up and coming acts, but also the well established acts as well, going the independent route. So I want
Absolutely.
to know, what do you think about the state of R&B music today?
I think it's in one of the best places that it's been in years.
Yes.
I think that we have so much diversity now because we're not winning, because
Right.
we're not mainstream, and no one's really looking, the world isn't looking at us. It doesn't require us to continue to make cookie cutter music. It doesn't
Right.
require us to say, okay, such and such did this, well, let me do this because I know there's millions of people that's going to buy the same thing that such and such did. So because we're not mainstream right now, we're more so underground. And so when you're underground, there's a groundswell of quality within it because you want to prove to the masses that you deserve that spot. Everyone wants that spot. They want that mainstream spot. And so you're hearing people's best offerings more so than the second, the second best, or, this is just something I just had in the cut or whatever.
Right.
So I think it's in a best, like in a great space. We'll have the mainstream spot back, but just like in any genre, when it's mainstream, I think you get sold short. The quality of music, the honesty. I love hip hop to death. You know what I mean? And I love that they're mainstream right now. But I think that we will all be foolish to believe that we're getting the best out of hip hop right now. And I don't think
Right.
so. I think that you have people that continue to hold up the quality of it, but I think for the most part, now you have an influx of artists and music just starting to come out within that genre because that's where the money's at. And
Right.
so when they understand that's where the money's at, they're not concerned about the quality of music. They're concerned about how to cash in. And so for R&B, it's not like that because don't nobody necessarily or the masses don't care. So we just like really fine tuning and honing in, and we're making some of the best music that I've heard in the past 15 years for sure.
Absolutely. Definitely a huge part of this R&B sound. We definitely love it over here. So obviously you have Audacity Volume 1 out, you have Audacity Volume 2 out.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is next for you as far as music, as far as the business? What can we expect from you in the future?
Audacity Complete. That is the merging of Volume One and Volume Two, and additional songs as well to create the full length project and album to close out this year. I really wanted 2020 to really focus on a theme, and audacity to be the theme, not just for me because I was living an audacious life, but I wanted to sow those seeds into the people that listen to my music, to never be afraid, to always be fearless, to step into your purpose, walk into it. Even if it feel like it doesn't make sense, if you feel compelled, I wanted to create a soundtrack that that felt that within the music, within my lyrics, just within the title. So every time they put Kevin Ross and that title up against, they understood what I stood for. You know what I mean? More so than anything. So yeah, we got to finish out Audacity, Audacity Complete in 2020, and then 2021 we'll have a whole new project and a whole new thing, and we gonna run the gamut, and we gonna just keep the foot on the gas for sure.
We're definitely looking forward to it. So,
Yeah.
one final question, and then we'll let you go. What is the overall message that you want your fans to get from listening to your music?
Um, the overall thing that I want people to understand is that just enjoy your life and enjoy this time. Love one another. Um, Honestly, Audacity Volume Two just has a vibe and an energy that's very lighthearted. That feels very yeah. I think it just feels very light. So I really want people to just understand like that as we're making memories, that we all deserve a good soundtrack. And I think that I got a couple records on there that could fit inside of this. So I just want people to continue to enjoy it. Um, yeah, as much as they possibly can.
Yeah, you definitely have more than a couple records on there. Contract. Let's not be modest here. So, Kevin Ross, thank you so much for
Thank you.
checking in with us. We really appreciate it. Tell us where we can follow you on the internet and on social media and all of that.
For sure. Make sure that you follow me at Kevin Ross Music on all social media platforms. Make sure that you check out the Mashup Show every Monday on Facebook Live at 8 o'clock. So yeah, and then what else? KevinRossMusic.com for all exclusive material and content. And thank you so much once again for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being here, Kevin. We greatly appreciate it. And make sure, listeners, Audacity Volume 2 out right now, as well as Audacity Volume 1. Be on the lookout for Audacity Complete towards the end of the year. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's Paige B. It's Kevin Ross. It's Kiss 107.1. Simply the best R&B. Have a great rest of your day.